The lovers already had me, but like fake dating, let's figure out how we're gonna do that. I just want to hold a book in my hand. So I know that seems kind of chaotic for me to have read book 2 and 3 in a series and not have read book 1. It's my first time reading this book was like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh my goodness, what have I been missing out on? Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, hi, hello, how are you? My name is Valisa, and I'm so happy that you decided to stop by. If you enjoyed today's video, please do not hesitate to like and subscribe. I would love to have you back. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into today's video. Okay y'all, so today's video is going to be my holiday TBR as well as holiday book recommendations. So I will be going through some of the books that are on my TBR for this holiday season. I'm keeping it short and sweet so that I can actually be able to achieve it, but I also wanted to share some holiday recommendation books for you all as well. I am still very new to like reading holiday books. I tried it a few years ago and it didn't really work the best for me, but like this is my favorite season, so I definitely wanted to give it another go. So I created a small little holiday TBR for myself, as well as a few books that really did work well, and this is the reason why I do want to give this another shot with holiday books. So I'm going to do a mixture of it. I'm going to show you what's on my TBR, and then I'm going to recommend a book for you. My TBR, recommend a book for you. So we're just going to keep doing that back and forth. I have 10 books overall between my TBR and my recommendations for you. But yeah, I love this season, so I wanted to do a fun little cute and short video where we can just discuss holiday books. Also, with that being said, like I said, I am new to this like genre of just like really reading books that are like holiday themed. So if you have any favorites of your own, please feel free to leave them in the comments. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first book on my TBR is going to be In a Holidays. So this book, I feel like people have said that it's more like a Groundhog Day but make it holiday. So our girl is like stuck in a dead-end job. She doesn't really like it. She's not really honestly happy about her life at all. Like she's not happy about like how she's standing romantically with people. She's not happy with her personal life or work life. So our girl is just not in the happiest moment in her life, but she is really looking forward to going to Utah and spending the holidays in her family's cabin that they've always spent the holiday in. But lo and behold, this is going to be the last Christmas that they have together in this cabin. And so our girl is on her way back after the holiday, and she's like so sad, and she makes a plea to the universe saying, please show me what will make me happy. And then like this is scratch the record type of thing, and she rewinds and she winds up starting back over in a plane to Utah, and this keeps happening over and over again. So now our girl is like, oh my goodness, how do I make this stop, and like how do I finally get my true love to kiss me underneath the mistletoe while I'm at it type of situation. So it sounds like it's going to be a fun, quirky time. I never seen the movie Groundhog Day at all, but like so a lot of people seem to like it, and I just know it's a comedy, so I'm expecting to laugh a lot in this one as well. And this isn't my first Christina Lauren book. I like their writing style, so I'm hoping at the least this would just be like a fun book to read. But yeah, this is the first book on my TBR, and the next book is going to be a book for you. So this is a book that I recommend. I absolutely love reading this book. I started reading it every Christmas, and that is going to be A Christmas Carol. Yes, this is a classic. This is well known, and I'm here to say that reading the book is worth it as well. It's a very short book at that, but pretty much it's going to be following this guy named Scrooge, and he has just been like very like not the cheeriest or happiest person. Like he doesn't care about the holidays. He's kind of been just very finance focused, greedy, trying to get all this money. And then lo and behold, 3 ghosts come and visit him. Good ghosts of Christmas present, Christmas past, and Christmas future. And it kind of reveals to him where his life is going, where he's been, and like each one of them reveals a different side of Scrooge. And so we get to know like how he became this person, how these actions are affecting people in the present, and if he continues down this road, what will happen. For a very very short book, it does provide like a really well-rounded view of like what makes a life and how like each person affects another person in your life. And I just really enjoy this book, so I have to recommend it. It is really great. There's very much different editions to it. You have like the classic edition, you have picture book form of it. I'm sure like whatever format you need to better digest like classic books, I'm sure you can find it, especially with the Christmas Carol. And there's a lot of movie adaptations, TV series adaptations. So it's an easy way to really immerse yourself in the Christmas spirit when reading this book. So any way you want to digest this story, I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. And that was my first time reading this book, was like 2 years ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, what have I been missing out on? So the next book on my TBR is going to be How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. So this is going to be a enemies to lovers book, set in this town that is Christmas all year round. And so our leading guy, he absolutely hates Christmas and he cannot stand Christmas at all. And he was planning on just like staying closed up in a way in his house throughout the season and let it way out. But lo and behold, his nemesis winds up moving in next door to take care of her aunt. And she decides to enter into this big, huge Christmas competition that they have, and our guy's like, absolutely will not allow you to win that. So he pretends that he is back in the Christmas spirit and he wants to be a part of all of this so that he can beat her in the game. But like lo and behold, somehow they wind up fake dating and they wind up having a kiss, and then that shifts like everything and they wind up catching feelings for each other. So I'm just excited to see like what this book is about. This is my first time reading a book by this author. I've seen a lot of her books here and there over like my Instagrams and like book talk and everything, but I never picked up a book of hers. But like the cover of this, the title of this, it just really caught my attention. So I am excited to read this. It is a chunky book, like it's 400 pages, and I just feel like that's a lot, but I am interested to see how this goes, especially with this like fake dating aspect happening in it. Like enemies to lovers already had me, but like fake dating, let's figure out how we're going to do that. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one. And of course, my book recommendation for you all is the book that inspired the previous one, and that is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I feel like I'm giving you all like just some really classic ones, but I just want to like bring them back up again because they are classics and I feel like it's easy to forget about them. But like this is a picture book. This is just giving nostalgia. It's a very like quick read. I feel like I read this and then I want to go watch the movie. I like the cartoon version of it. I also like the Jim Carrey version of this book. If you don't know like How the Grinch Stole Christmas is, it's just pretty much about like this creature called the Grinch. He stayed up in the hills of Whoville, and lo and behold, like he comes down, he winds up like stealing all the presents and everything for the Whovilliers. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's a really sweet book. It's a quick book. It's a short book, but like there's so many adaptations out there as well. You have the one that I mentioned, which is like the one with Jim Carrey. You have the original one, which is the cartoon one, but I think they've done like another animation remake where like Benedict Cumberbatch plays the Grinch. So it's always just a really fun time watching the Grinch and reading the Grinch. So I had to recommend it, especially since like the first book is kind of a tee up for this one as well. The next book I want to read is going to be The Great Divorce. I just want to hold a book in my hand since I don't have the other books. So this is actually a bunch of C.S. Lewis books in here, and one of them being The Great Divorce. The summary from The Great Divorce is like super short, y'all, so I'm still not really sure what this book is going to be about, but I always like to read something that's more on like the Christian theme for sure, because you know, like Christmas, Christ, like it's the reason for the season. So I definitely want to read a book there's a connection to Christianity to it, because you know, want to keep the reason for the season there. And so I want to read The Great Divorce. It is like a fictional story, but it's going to be about a bus ride from hell to heaven, and so it's just addresses like good and evil, grace and judgment. And so like the revolutionary like idea about this is going to be that the gates to hell are locked from the inside. So I'm just really excited to read this book because I have heard a lot of great things about The Great Divorce. I feel like it definitely will be able to deliver because C.S. Lewis, he delivers. And speaking of C.S. Lewis, videos, my book recommendation for the holidays is going to be the Chronicles of Narnia, in particular The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. So this is like not the book. This is the complete Chronicles of Narnia. So these are all the books that are in the series, and you by all means can read them in the order. I think The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is actually like book 3 out of the series, but a lot of times people just read that one because it's such a like a wintry theme. It really matches the season. And so I actually think this is the second book, but anyways, it's going to be about these 4 siblings that wind up going through this wardrobe and they enter into the world of Narnia. But when they go in there, there's never Christmas. They are forever stuck in winter because the evil witch has like put a spell over them, and the only one who was able to break them out of this bondage of this world that they're living in is going to be Aslan, who is the lion in this book. And so it's so many allegories are like tied up in this, so it really just makes for this really great story of like good triumphing evil. So I have to recommend this book as well as the corresponding movie. I feel like almost every book I have recommended, I also want to recommend a movie that kind of fits it as well. And so The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the adaptation of that movie, is out. I absolutely love it. The movie itself is something that I definitely watch all the time around the Christmas season. So the book is really good as well. And if you enjoy it, you can always continue on with the series. And the next book on my TBR is going to be Love Light Farms. So I have already read book 2 and 3 in this series, but I never got around to reading book 1 because I wanted to wait till the holiday season. So this is me finally reading book 1 of this series. So I know that seems kind of chaotic for me to have read book 2 and 3 in a series and not have read book 1, but like, it's a romance series, so you know it's going to be like a happily ever after with this one. So I already know like they get together, so seeing them together really doesn't spoil anything for me. It just makes me excited to see how they got here. But yeah, so this book is going to be pretty much about like a girl who really loves this tree farm in Love Light, and the tree farm has been struggling a lot. So our girl winds up applying to this competition in order to win money to help save the farm. And one of the things that she says in her application is that her and her boyfriend owns this farm together to make it more of a romantic getaway. And so when the people come to check out the place, she immediately freaks out because there is no boyfriend in place, hence our leading guy, who is her best friend. So he comes over one day just to have some coffee, and she's like, I'm gonna need you to fake date me during this competition so that people will think that we are actually co-owners of this, and there is a boyfriend who owns this place with me. So I am excited. I'm just not realizing this is another fake dating scenario, but this seems like it's gonna be like different vibes because they are best friends who are fake dating, while the other one is like enemies to lovers. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I also just love the covers for this series. Like, here are the other books in the series. I just think they're really cute, so that's also why I'm really excited to read this book as well. In my book recommendation for the holidays is going to be Let It Snow. So this is going to be by these 3 authors, John Green, Maureen Johnson, and Lauren Miracle. So this is like an oldie but a goodie. So it's going to be following 3 different groups of people, and each author is going to be telling the storyline for that group of person, but they're all going to be interconnected since they're all in the same town. So I remember the first time I read this, I just really enjoyed it a lot. So the first one's going to be about like this group of friends who wind up meeting up at Waffle House, and then they're trying to compete in this competition. And then we have another one where this girl winds up missing her train and trying to find an alternative route to be able to get home because everything is snowed in. And then the last one is so funny because it's the fate of a teacup pig falls into the hands of a lovesick barista. So it's like quirky, you have all these different things going on. It is a YA book, so you know it has like more of a youthful vibe to it as well. So definitely had to recommend this. And since we're like on the roll, there is a show out. I think Netflix did the adaptation of it. I haven't watched the show, I'm going to be honest. I haven't watched the show. I might do that this holiday season to see like how the show lines up with the book, but I do want to let you know that there is a an adaptation of this book out here. It is brought to you by Netflix. And the last book on my TBR is going to be The Christmas Tree Farm. So I feel like this book is honestly a combination of Love Light Farms and How My Neighbor Stole Christmas all combined into one. So this is going to be about a girl who winds up inheriting like this Christmas tree farm. Somehow she winds up buying it, and she does not like Christmas. She's a very big grump. It literally says in here she's the grinchiest person ever. So she is not a fan of Christmas at all, but the whole town has expectations for her in this tree farm, and she has just been trying to knock them off and say like, you know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But lo and behold, our leading guy, he's on vacation in town to visit his sister, and somehow he winds up getting stranded at the tree farm with her. So this just sounds like such a fun time, because like he was trying to get an escape from his day-to-day life and always feeling the need to solve other people's problems, but like here he is with a woman that has a problem with owning this tree farm and the expectations of the town. So this just sounds like it's going to be a really cute and fun time. Okay, and my final book recommendation is going to be 7 Days of Us. So this is going to be set in the UK, and it's going to be about this family who finally, for the first time in years, every single last one of them will be together for Christmas Day. And there is a catch. One of these siblings, due to the job that she was working on, she has to be quarantined for 7 days. She doesn't tell the family this until she has arrived, so they all now have to be quarantined together in this house for 7 days, and they have never been this close together without being able to get space. So that of course brings forth a lot of different drama. So one of the siblings, the one that's started this whole quarantine, is trying to readjust to the fact that they're like all these first world problems and trying to be more sympathetic, as she has been dealing with people who are literally just trying to stay alive. Then she has her younger sister, who is the one that is like planning a wedding, and she's like completely obsessed with making sure everything in this wedding is perfect. And then she has her brother, who is like consistently, and then you have another family member who is just constantly writing all of these horrible restaurant reviews, brutally honest about everything, because he wants to relive his glory days of being a war correspondent. And then you have another sister who is keeping this secret from the whole family that will turn everything upside down. So like this is just such a fun book. It's so much drama going on, so many moving parts. You have a lot of POVs. So I really did just enjoy this one, because it just gives you like that messy family time. So it just makes for like a fast-paced, fun, quick read with multiple moving POVs in it. So I really enjoyed this one, and I had to recommend it because, you know, you need a family themed book in the holiday season. There isn't a movie adaptation of this book at all, but I will put up I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I will put up a movie here. When I edit this, this is the movie that I think if you like this book, you should check this out, or if you like this movie, you should check this book out. But yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you were able to find some recommendations to add to your TBR for the holiday Christmas season. I am very excited to start reading these books for sure, and I cannot wait. So you will definitely be seeing these in some future reading vlogs. But yeah, if you were able to make it all the way to the end, please feel free to leave behind this emoji to let me know that you did. If you want to follow me on any of my other social media platforms, I will have them linked down below. And until next time.